Let's get honest here. Hawkeye is a much better Avenger than they ever get credit for. On a team with a god, cyborg, super spy, walking tank, super soldier, and literal monster, it's a regular person with trick arrows and sheer skill. Like Batman or the Punisher, but with some surviving family and a passion for puncture wounds. And if we're honest also, Iowa, the Hawkeye state, is one of the better states in the Union. We drink a lot of beer, we have more bars per capita than any other state in the Union except Wisconsin. We invented taco pizza, and we'll deep fry anything just to prove to you that we can. But just like Kate or Clint, we've got our shortcomings, namely pornographically named gas stations. But my home state, my ancestral state, was hit with an inland hurricane. That's the best way to describe it about 2 weeks ago. Some people are only now just getting power back, and thousands of people had their homes and property destroyed. Cedar Rapids is very much almost destroyed, changed, probably permanently. So while this week I'm discussing the origin and history of Hawkeye, please consider donating to the cause of helping people in the Hawkeye state get back on their feet. So who is Clint Barton, Hawkeye? Well, you bet I'm going to tell you. I'm Dan Umphin, and this is the Doomcast. Clint Francis Barton was born in Waverly, Iowa, a city that I used to write for the newspaper in, and I can tell you factually that the only good things to come out of Waverly are, in fact, Hawkeye and sub-city cold-cut sandwiches with Russian dressing. Seriously, if you're ever there, get it, it's excellent, and I guess it is kind of a quaint, pretty little town. Also, Wartburg College is a giant glee club. Don't go there. The orphaned Hawkeye and his brother fled the promised land of Busch Light and gas station taco pizza and joined the circus, and were trained in archery and sword combat by some guys called the Swordsman and Trickshot, who eventually betrayed them after embezzling from a circus. Not lucrative. Afterward, Clint struck out on his own and tried his hand at costume heroics with his archery skills, but got blamed for a theft and as a result fought Iron Man when Tony Stark pursued him. After accidentally rescuing Jarvis, Clint got the chance to clear his name and join the Avengers. But before long, Swordsman, Jacques Duquesne, the very same French circus guy who screwed him over, got brought into the Avengers also. Barton has been training with pretty much every type of edged and ranged weapon his entire life from early childhood. His skills are beyond peak. His level of mastery is such that he holds his own against powered and enhanced opponents like Daredevil, Bullseye, Taskmaster, the Hood, and others regularly. Clint fell hard for Black Widow and even fought Daredevil for her affection, thinking Daredevil was just a regular, powerless dude like him. And this is the beginning of a series of serious romantic problems for Clint. He later butted heads with the Vision over Scarlet Witch, ended up marrying Mockingbird, died, she died, then he died, got hot for Black Widow again, then Bobby again, and most recently, Linda Carter, the night nurse. What makes Clint Barton an outstanding Avenger and so enduringly engaging is that he's written as a character with grit and skill, but maybe not necessarily brilliance. He's not a genius, but he's willing to make tough calls, especially when it means putting his own safety on the line for other people. For example, when one of his explosive arrows was lit in his quiver in a battle with the Kree in Central Park, he flew himself into their spacecraft, sacrificing himself to take it down and protecting his team and civilians as well. And when an entire building is held hostage by the Russian mob, Clint and Kate Bishop gave everything they had to keep the civilians there safe. But that same determination of Clint's goes beyond selflessness, sometimes into ruthlessness. He took the Thunderbolts to hell to fight Mephisto for his dead wife's soul. He wanted to straight up murder Norman Osborn during Dark Reign just to stop him from destroying the world, which is reasonable, I guess, but he also had a problem of assassinating Skrulls, crossing the line of murder at some points during New Avengers. And at Bruce Banner's own request, he shot him in the face with an arrow when he thought he was going to turn into the Hulk again for all the good that did, because now he's immortal. Most recently in Hawkeye Freefall, one of the best Clint stories in years, a somewhat ham-fisted attempt to circumvent the law and put truly bad guys in prison ends up getting people around him that he cares about and has trusted him killed, and puts Clint on the wrong side of the law again. Absolutely worth it, only 5 issues. Matt Rosenberg and Otto Schmidt. What's so powerful about Clint Barton is that he's not a billionaire, he's not the most powerful Avenger, and might be the second most skilled, but he has an earnest desire to do good. To see good ends, even if the path that it takes him on is ethically shaky. Because at the end of the day, Clint Barton is salt of the earth. All too human, and I think that's his appeal. He's human, just like the people of his home state, Iowa. You know, I used to hate living here, but there's value to it. and beauty in it even. But it's not a stretch to say that the media has paid precious little attention to the wanton destruction that happened and lingers here in this state, in a year when the entire world seems like it's on fire. I know there are a lot of fires to put out, but if you can help, please do. There are good people here that need heroes. Thanks everybody for watching. This has been the Doomcast. We'll see you next week.